as you know, was that you were sucking the toes of the wife of the second in line to the heir to the throne of England.
Okay, let's be very clear. I was not sucking anybody's toes.
What were you doing?
I was kissing the toes with Eugenie sitting next to me.
Call me naive, but what do you mean? If you were having an affair, and the pictures suggested you were having an affair, even if the technicality of the sucking is downgraded to kissing the toes, aren't you just having an affair and got caught?
Yeah.
Isn't that the bottom line?
See, that's exactly how they get you, because you're too dumb for life. You're sitting here focusing on the royal guy's dating life. Of course, that's what these predators want you to watch. They keep the cameras on the gossip so you don't have to see the dirt behind the curtains. But this hot talk kissing thing works well because it distracts people from the actual crimes they should be paying attention to. It's just like when Trump pushes racist remarks so you forget he has actual answers he must provide. Why is he redacting his names from the Epstein files? Then we have Prince Andrew, the guy whose wife's toes are being sucked. I mean, the media wants you to focus on this dude, John Bryant, sucking Sarah Ferguson's toes instead of the crimes the prince himself is involved in. Those allegations against the prince are the things we should pay close attention to, as this goes way beyond the toe kissing scandal. I mean, serious crimes that could involve human consumption of the most cannibalistic cults you could ever see. But what if the TV news lied to you, and those people you obsess about on your phone also lied to you because they say there was nothing scary in those 2026 files?
Frankly, people thought there was an Epstein list. However, the evidence suggested there really was not an Epstein list if you were watching this case with any sort of eagle eye.
The Justice Department says there is no evidence he kept a client list.
No client list or evidence.
We don't have anything new here today in the course of the 300 pages.
There is no list. I never heard that. I never saw it, and I never imagined it.
They said we should get over it and move on with our lives.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
Other folks called the same odd news that didn't matter anymore, though it was just a mere sex scandal. But was it? To these billionaire pedophiles from London to Washington, you're not a person, you're not a daughter, you're not a son, you're just a thing, a gift, a piece of bacon on a plate. They don't even think you're alive now. At least that's what I discovered in the new released Epstein files. To them, you're just a toy to play with.
I wasn't even in the category of being a human being. I was just a toy to be used. I was lower than a dog to them, you know? I wasn't even a puppy to be played with. I was just a toy. Like, they just made you feel like you're not even acknowledged as being alive or there or important or cared for or worried about in any way. None of those human emotions were attached to me when I was trafficked to Prince Andrew.
You have Prince Andrew here doing some of the most grotesque acts, and then there's this chick on the ground like, is this royalty? I bet the Queen would have been happy with this.
If what you said to this undercover journalist in the bar is the truth, and you've said that it wasn't, but if it was, you would be accusing Prince Andrew of a very serious criminal offence. You did a big thing in the Mail saying you believed Andrew, and then you found out he was lying. You were so pissed. Lying about what? The journalist says screwing underage girls. You say that he was effing underage girls. That's not cool.
I was really pissed because he lied to me about Epstein. And then I did a big thing in the Daily Mail saying that I believed Andrew. And then I found out he was lying. I was so pissed. No, he was f***ing underage girls. That's not cool.
Do you believe that Prince Andrew had sex with Virginia Giuffre?
Then here comes one of the accusers, Virginia, describing what it was like on these pedophile parties.
I was there to look pretty, smile, nod my head, don't make waves. You know, we were just there for show. We weren't anything important to them at all. We weren't even a human being to them. We were just another toy to be passed around. And that's what they did.
These guys have created a massive global cult that's heavily centered around ritualistic, cannibalistic behavior, all combined with trafficking. And guess what? All the perpetrators are being protected, their names redacted, with the names of the victims exposed. None of these are to face any repercussions. I carried out an investigation to find out how, where they source the goals, and what mechanisms are involved. What I discovered is though, they use one key strategy. Source young girls from low-income countries, ship them over, and use them for whatever they want. You wouldn't expect Nicki Minaj whistleblowing this, but hey. And then they don't even speak English. What happens next?
There were a lot of younger girls with us. And it was very shocking. It was hugely shocking to see these poor girls in the same situation that I was. And a lot of them don't even speak English. So I couldn't imagine what would have been going through their heads too.
Before we proceed, this video is in 2 chapters. Unfortunately, the time I upload the next video, you may not see because you're not subscribed. You have 2 options. Subscribe and get the next video, or refuse and did it come for you in your sleep. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've heard the name Jeffrey Epstein so many times.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein list.
You probably think you've heard it all, but trust me, there's way more sinister details about this dude, including cannibalism. See, the media's made it solely focus on the wealthy billionaires. Bill Gates, Jay-Z, Elon Musk, and all the people that visited Epstein. But no one's really paying attention to who really facilitated this whole thing. How are the girls acquired? Who pays them? Are they even paid? And how many vanish silently when they attempt to rebel? I've been reading through these files and oh boy, this is a rabbit hole. First, that these guys code scouts that Jeffrey Epstein used to target and acquire kids from low-income countries. They can't afford legal fees, so in case of anything, they can't put up a fight. You see, transporting a human has a law in it, like the process. You must cross the border, answer questions without raising red flags. I'm not cooking this up because in the recently released Epstein files, one of the witnesses said, quote, "We targeted recruitment of minors from economically precarious backgrounds and low-income countries. Specialized procurement via private transport of great social nodes where there's zero institutional oversight." That's scary, right? But the more you immerse yourself in these files and try to discover how they move these kids, that's when you discover you're just at the surface level. Jeffrey Epstein often moved his guests on yachts, but I want to take a closer look at this. This right here is a high-end kitchen on his yacht, and he has them in his mansions too. Look at the plumbing for a second. In one of the Epstein files, these had been described to have been equipped with industrial-grade flow drains and high-capacity pipes. If I may ask, why would a private kitchen need a drainage system that you'd normally find only in an abattoir? Well, the Epstein files say these pipes were used for rapid sanitization. They needed to wash away biological waste as quickly as it was created. And they weren't just using regular soap. The other research showed they're buying bulk shipments of biological accelerators. Now, these are chemicals designed to break down organic matter and dissolve DNA evidence almost instantly. That's really sneaky because this looks like a clean kitchen, but the equipment in there tells you they're processing something much more gruesome, like human flesh.
There are code words that suggest Jeffrey Epstein and his associates could maybe even be engaging in some sort of consumption. Is that human consumption? Are there code words? There's a lot of talk of beef jerky. There's a restaurant called The Cannibal where the owner is listed in some of these documents. Now, that isn't a restaurant that is just proclaiming to serve human meat by any means. But some of this just, it seems that there's a lot of conspiracies that make you wonder.
Now, the Department of Justice has been hiding a lot from us, and for a very long time, they've been convincing us that there's nothing to find inside those files.
There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency. He's the one that asked that those files.
I'm reclaiming my time. I got your answer. You said there's no evidence.
President Trump asked
Mr. Chairman, please stop the clock. Stop the clock.
The legislation.
Time belongs to the gentleman from California.
Okay. I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
I believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you. Here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was gonna stop a limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide.
Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche slapped it right in our face, practically praising the purity of evidence they were releasing, telling us everything was fine, yet when you look closely at this image, there's something weird about it.
Check this out. One image in the Epstein Files list contains an image that shows 2 chickens, and in the middle is something that's been redacted. But if you look closely, it really looks like a baby's leg. If it's just another chicken, why block it out? That's my point. And you can see the full leg right there. And people, yes, remember when Hillary Clinton's emails came out when she was joking about sacrificing chickens to Malak? Who's that?
Which makes me wonder, why was the kitchen heavily equipped with industrial-grade pipes and using some cleaning detergent that erases DNA? If it weren't for such cases disappearing evidence of human bodies? The FBI for a very long time knew about this, but why were they hiding it? Are they part of the play, and why are they reducing the names of the predators and leaving those of the victims exposed? The setup, I mean, we have Bill Gates, the Bush family, President Trump, all appear to be the center of all of this. Doesn't that bother you? I mean, there's a lot of questions about the legitimacy of these elites. Why would the most powerful elites in the world be involved in something this sick? See, it's not like these guys just drop out of nowhere to just show up for a cookout. In fact, they're groomed. They're told they're joining a god-tier circle where normal rules of right and wrong don't just exist anymore. They are convinced that to really run the world, you have to do things that the average person is too weak to do. This ego trip leads them right into a room they can never leave. And that's where the blackmail starts. When you're in that room, you're enticed to participate. Maybe it's a sacrifice, or maybe you're filmed eating meat. The second that happens, you're done. You can't go back to your old life as a family man or a businessman because they have you on 4K video doing the unthinkable. You're tied to the group forever. The result is a blood bond. This bond ensures total loyalty because if one person is exposed, they all go down. This is how they kept people like the Bush family and the tech elite in line. There are these fashion magazines, then those fancy runways, slightly shiny lights, and pretty clothes. Whatever you see here is just for sure, and it aims to keep the public from seeing how these predators caught and pick kids behind the scenes, because this business is a massive supply shop for Epstein's cult. You may think I'm cooking my own words, but check here. Back in 2004, Jeffrey Epstein handed over $1 million to help Jean-Luc Brunel start MC2. To most of us, it looked like a legitimate business. However, the Epstein files suggest it functioned as a sophisticated fake setup that Epstein used to find and traffic models. The huge $1 million check gave him access to every new face entering the business. Every runway was just for window shopping. He could handpick his next target and funnel them right into his private circle, which just let him hide this operation behind the face of legitimate business.